Fat was once a friend, then it became a villain. But behind the low-fat label lies a story of science, sabotage, and some seriously strange decisions. You've heard the myth. Fat makes you fat.
Makes you fat?
But what if that idea wasn't just wrong? What if it was part of a national experiment gone off the rails? This is the twisted tale of how America's war on fat gave rise to sugar-packed substitutes, bland diets, and unintended chaos in your kitchen. Before fat became a villain, it was a culinary hero. In early American kitchens, lard was liquid gold. Tubs of beef tallow and bacon grease sat proudly on stovetops, not hidden away, but saved and reused, meal after meal. Fat wasn't feared, it was flavor.
Nice.
From flaky biscuits in the South to rich stews up north, fat meant comfort, calories, and survival, especially in colder regions and among working-class families. Heck, even hospitals once fed patients high-fat meals to speed recovery. Imagine that today, bacon as medicine.
Bacon?
But all of that changed, not because of new discoveries, but because of marketing, politics, and a few bad studies that would change food history forever. The villainization of fat didn't start in kitchens. It started in labs, headlines, and boardrooms. In the 1950s, a physiologist named Ansel Keys made a splash with the 7-country study linking saturated fat to heart disease. The catch? He left out countries that didn't fit the theory. It was correlation, not causation.
Dannon low-fat yogurt. A good thing going for you every day.
But the damage was done. Suddenly, fat was the enemy. Government guidelines followed suit. The 1977 dietary goals for Americans urged citizens to cut fat and embrace carbs. Cue the avalanche of fat-free everything: cookies, yogurt, even cheese. But what replaced the fat? Sugar, starch, additives, flavorless filler disguised as healthy. And as Americans cut fat, something else grew: our waistlines. The obesity rate doubled from 1980 to 2000. The result? Snack foods exploded, caloric intake surged, and yet people weren't getting healthier. They were getting hooked. Kraft, Kellogg's, Nestle, they all leaned in. Low fat was trendy, profitable, marketable, and people believed it. They stuffed your food with sugar, seed oils, artificial flavors, and additives with names you can't pronounce. Food companies raced to reformulate products, but removing fat had a cost, both in flavor and shelf life. So what did they do? As scientists blamed fat, the food industry saw dollar signs. The low-fat revolution didn't cure anything, but it did feed an addiction to sugar and ultra-processed foods that we still haven't shaken. There was a time when recipes were passed down, not just for taste, but for survival. Meals cooked with butter, bone broth, and bacon fat weren't just delicious, they were nourishing. But the low-fat craze didn't just change food labels, it rewrote dinner time. Home cooking started disappearing. And what replaced it? Packaged meals, plastic trays, sauce from a tube. Convenience killed culture, and that cozy kitchen aroma of sizzling butter replaced by a microwave beep and a side of soy oil. We didn't just lose flavor, we lost ritual. The act of cooking together, sitting down together, learning how to taste, season, and love real food. And for what? A soggy, fat-free Salisbury steak? We didn't just lose flavor when we cut the fat, we lost our food culture. Generations of wisdom, tradition, and nourishment were replaced by barcodes, packaging, and hollow promises. Where once we simmered stews and passed down secrets, we now microwave and forget. The war on fat made us fear the very thing that fed us. But here's the truth, it's not too late. You can still cook like your grandmother. You can still bring back flavor, connection, and joy. Because fat wasn't just in the food, it was in the stories, the smells, the love. Let's bring it back. The use of animal fat isn't just American tradition, it's global heritage. Ancient Egyptians fried with goose fat, Romans slathered bread with lard, Vikings rendered animal fat for winter storage. And in Asia, pork lard was essential, long before vegetable oil existed. Fat was practical. It preserved food, carried flavor, and gave energy, crucial for soldiers, farmers, and everyday families. Wherever there was good cooking, there was fat. It was never feared, until the 20th century, when industrialized food systems rewrote the rules. To replace real fat, we turned to chemistry. Butter was swapped for margarine, lard for shortening, tallow for canola. The promise? A healthy heart. The reality? A chemical cocktail that our bodies didn't recognize. The irony? The very substitutes we embraced, hydrogenated oils, turned out to be worse than the fats we feared. Meanwhile, plant-based oils like soybean, palm oil, and corn oil became dominant thanks to subsidies, marketing, and mass production. But they oxidize quickly, break down under heat, and lack flavor. We didn't just trade flavor for health, We traded both for profit. Fat wasn't just food, it was fuel, medicine, and even sacred. The ancient Egyptians prized goose fat and used it in healing salves and embalming. In Mesopotamia, animal fats were offered to the gods as divine gifts. Ancient Greeks massaged olive oil and animal fat into the skin after battle or training. But the Romans, they were obsessed. Lard was used in cooking, baking, and even beauty routines. Wealthy Romans bathed in scented animal fats as part of luxury rituals. Why? Because fat was functional. It preserved food, healed wounds, powered the body, and carried flavor. Civilizations didn't just use fat, they revered it. Not all fats are created equal, and some are so good, they've stood the test of centuries. Let's break it down. Lard. From pork fat, it's buttery, clean, and perfect for baking. Used across Europe, Asia, and the Americas. Amazing for pie crusts and fried chicken. Tallow, rendered beef fat. Stable at high heat, rich in vitamins, and ideal for frying. Used by McDonald's in their original fries until protests swapped it for bland vegetable oil. Duck fat, the French gold. Luxurious, flavorful, perfect for roasting potatoes or confit. Schmaltz, rendered chicken fat. Staple in Jewish cooking. Adds deep umami to matzo balls and soups. Ghee, clarified butter from India. Shelf-stable, lactose-free, and aromatic. Loved in Ayurvedic tradition. Butter, classic and versatile. Adds flavor to everything from toast to sauces. When it comes to cooking, the best fats are the ones our ancestors trusted, not the ones made in a lab. Fat was never the enemy. It was a casualty in a war waged by profit, not science. But what if this was just one battle in a much bigger food war? Because if they lied about fat, just wait till you see what they did to breakfast.